What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Ever Adaptive Podcast. I'm your host, Becky Flowers, along with my two co-hosts here, sarahbudzz and Toby, the lion.
Someone was demanding attention.
So hold him. Can you hold him up or will he get mad? He looks like a legit lion right now. His tail. I love it. He's so cute.
He just wants lovin's.
He's so sweet. Not a cat person, but I am a Toby person.
Everyone says that. Everyone's like, I'm not a cat person. I don't really like cats. And then they meet Toby and they're like, Toby's the coolest cat I've ever met. I'm like, I know.
He's like a dog.
I wasn't a cat person either.
No, he's like a dog.
Yep.
He's awesome. But all right, well, we are going to talk about body image today, specifically like transitioning from cut or prep to off-season health, like just everything. We go through so many phases in bodybuilding, and I think every single phase you can have body image things that come up. But
Agreed.
before we jump into that, you want to do just a little update?
Yeah, because we had Heather on last week, so it's back to just us. I think I'm getting sick. I woke up this morning.
So you're dying this morning.
Yeah, well, actually, yesterday, like after training, I started feeling it like last night, and I was like, oh, please don't. So I like OD'd on glutathione yesterday and slept a ton. Took like 2 naps yesterday. Slept like 8 full hours, which is I never usually get more than 7 at a time. This morning, woke up, pounding headache, but we're here. We're getting by. I'm hoping that if I just OD on glutathione enough, I I usually do pretty good when I like catch it in time. It won't get to like a full blown sickness. So usually just like a day or two, I'm like dying and then I'll be okay.
Good. Knock on wood.
Yeah. What about you?
Good. I kind of feel like me again. I feel like I
You
was
look alive.
doing good because I
Yes.
felt like the last 2 episodes I legit was like, I don't want to be here. And I do want to be here today. I think we both, Michigan and Illinois got sun over this past week.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I need to plan a trip in winter from now on every single year because I
I
feel
usually do. I usually like head out and to visit my brother in Arizona just to like break up the winter. But yeah, go ahead because we both got sun.
yeah. I feel like me again, kind of.
I was like driving to the gym yesterday, like my sunroof completely open. I was like, I feel alive again.
Right? Like, there's just something about it. Even if it's like cold, if the sun's out, I just feel like I am rejuvenated.
Yeah. Yep. I
Oh,
even went for like a quick walk last night, like 10:30 at night, and it was like still 55 degrees. And I was like, I'm so happy.
oh my gosh. That was reminding me. I was thinking, remember when I went out to visit you in October? Like end of October, and it was 80 degrees.
Yeah.
Like we've had some crazy weather.
I know. It's been so just like so back and forth, which I feel like is probably why I'm sick, but here we
It
are.
is. It is.
I never get sick. I'm like, this is bullshit.
And especially on the one day where we have to record and you have to show up.
Right.
Um,
It's okay.
let's power through this one.
Yeah. So let's dive in.
Where do you want to start? Because I feel like we're both in the same space right now. So you had talked about how you're getting into a gut protocol where you're not focused on body composition at all, or even
Right.
growth at all right now.
No. Yeah. It's just getting healthy. And so, like, that was, one of my things and one of my check ins, Mark said, he's like, we're not focusing on your body comp right now. Like, we need to get you healthy. Like, that's our first priority. Like, how do you feel? Things like that. Aside from if I'm getting sick. But
Yeah.
that's a thing too, is because like now I'm on low FODMAP. So this is like 2.5, almost 3 weeks on low FODMAP now. At first, I noticed a huge just like tank in energy. Like I was just
Really?
dead. Um, and really like this last week of training, like I actually felt really good. Like endurance is coming back, things like that. I think it has a lot to do with like taking out cardio too. Like I was so used to having cardio in. So like my endurance after my lifts, during my lifts was like there before. And all of a sudden you pull it and I'm just like, my whole body is just like, what's happening?
Yeah. Yeah, because you were
Um,
doing how many days of cardio?
well, I dropped for a little bit after I pulled out of prep until we completely pulled it. But I was doing, mm, I think I was doing seven, 7 days at 40 minutes, 35
Yeah.
minutes, something like that. Something like that. And then I ended up dropping to 5 by 25 just for a few days before we cut it completely. So just
Yeah.
step goal, which I mean, like we talked about, like I was like mortified pulling cardio
Yeah.
and
No, go
I
into
yeah, and so I was just like, oh my God, I'm gonna like blow up like a
yeah.
fucking balloon, right? And really like not I'm holding pretty steady right now, weight. Like it's pretty sustained. I'm usually hovering within like 1 or 2 pounds every day. Right. I mean, it's been that way for at least like 2 weeks now. And that's down from when I first started on when I was on my old meal plan. I dropped a couple pounds and now I'm just kind of holding where I'm at. I do notice some days, most days I feel pretty lean. I think that I am leaning out a little bit and just my body is just really absorbing all of the rest that I'm actually giving it for the first time in forever.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you do look leaner than you do. And I feel like the low FOB, because you are working on your gut issues, um, it just helps your body not be so inflamed, which is a
Yeah.
lot of that.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, there's noticeable difference in my first 4 weeks working with him
Mhm.
and my gut, you know, but overall inflammation throughout the body is way, way down. You just visually you can tell. So, like I said, it was like it was hard. It was a hard thing to switch from being in that prep mode, right? To okay, now we're kind of coasting, get health where it needs to be into a growth phase when I'm like I'm gonna be lean this year. Like
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
was a really hard, yeah, that was a really hard switch to just like flip in my head going from, you know, so geared one way to we're kind of still just gonna let the dust settle. So I'm okay with it. But I mean there's days where I wake up and I'm like, wow, I feel like a sack of potatoes. This is dope. Like, you know.
I think that's so real. And that's so real in every phase. Because I remember going through prep and I would wake up and be like, oh my gosh, I am a linebacker and literally don't have any body fat on you at all.
Right.
But we get so warped in our own eyes.
Mhm.
Um, so, what are some things that you do when you're transitioning in phases or when you're having an off day that kind of help a little
Just
bit?
like you put on your stories this morning, like put some freaking comfy clothes on, something that's not like restricting and making you feel like you're, you know, a busted can of biscuits.
Mhm. Yeah.
Like just put some comfy sweatpants on, like a big tee, like a hoodie, just get cozy and Toby, you're gonna fall. Sorry. Um, just things that are not restrictive, you know, get bigger clothes for those days. It helps. It
It does.
helps.
And I think like buying clothes that actually fit your body right now too. Like
Mhm.
I have so many clothes that I bought in prep 2 years ago, my first prep, when I'm like, this is just gonna be my life from now on. And then I try them on and I'm like, yeah, no, they don't fit. So just buying clothes that actually fit your body is
And and not only that, but knowing that like it's not because you've put a bunch of body fat on.
yes.
Like
You know,
you're growing, you know?
and your body, if your body composition, if you can look at your body composition from when you started your fitness journey or before anything else, versus now, and you can see those differences even if the scale is the same, even if your scale is up a little bit more, you're able to see that you're holding your body fat differently, and
Right.
that helps too.
Right. Like when you sent me that voice memo this morning, saying that like you were glad you were glad that we were gonna talk about this today. You're like, because I put on these shorts and they're just like eating my ass. And I'm like, Becky, your glutes are growing.
Which, thank God, they don't
Like,
grow.
this is what we're going for you. So
I know, but it's so hard. Like I said, like I bought these shorts, my first prep, it was when we were at Alpha Land. So that was 2 years ago now. And I've put on a good amount of size since then. And also now I actually have body fat on me, which crazy.
yeah.
But they're still the same size and I need to just size up.
Yeah. And that's what like like I waver between, like mediums and larges just because like, okay, how am I feeling? It's if I have a day where I'm like, okay, I feel big and I just want to hide, like I'm gonna throw the large leggings on because guess what? I don't want to be uncomfortable all day either.
Yeah. Yeah, because I don't know about you, but it will impact the way that I show up in the gym. If I'm feeling like a busted can of biscuits, like,
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's why I love wearing oversized shirts in the gym so much is because like I can hide, I can just like throw it on, like I'm all good. And then if I end up, which I usually do, because RTB is freaking a sauna, but if I get hot, like I can shed layers. So
yeah, I've never been in a gym that's that hot, which is great. It's great. Um,
it's so fun in the winter, in the summer though. Like
I
it's good.
can't imagine. Um, no, another thing that I was thinking is stop body checking. Like in prep, you know how you like walk past the store window and you're like body checking yourself. And you're like, oh, okay. Or like you'll throw up your shirt every time you go to the bathroom to check to see if
Yeah,
you're there. Stop doing that.
this is me.
Oh no, it's me too. And I will like still do that. And I'm like, oh man, I'm getting too big. Okay, Becky, no, you just have body fat on you.
I know. And it's like, and right now it's like I should, like I do it every fucking morning. Like,
Yes.
and I shouldn't be right now. It's like I said, like we're not focused on body comp. Like body comp will come when I am healthy.
You have to basically earn the right to do the like ab check right now.
Pretty much.
But I still do it too. I do the same thing every day. So it kind of just breaking that habit. I don't know how you break that habit yet because I'm still doing it. So when I find out, we'll let you know. But
Same. I probably won't be successful.
no, you will be. We are thinking positive. But no, I think it's just being aware of it, like being able to call yourself out and be like, okay, yeah, Becky, you're being stupid. Stupid.
Right. I think it's just like, I don't know. I think it's a way of like visually being like, am I regressing here? You know?
Yeah. You mean
Because like
mentally progressing or
yeah, physically, because like the way that we check in, right? Like we weigh ourselves every day and like we are very on top of all these different biometrics that we are paying attention to every day. And it's just something that I do with it. I'm like, oh, the scale's up. Let's see what we're looking like.
that is true. That yeah, I do that too. I was thinking like it's a way to check like mentally if you're regressing. Like if you're feeling like you're doing that so much and that puts a damper on how you show up in the day, like I think that's a regression.
Yeah, for sure. And I never let that impact how I show up through the day. I'm just like, well, I'm a whale today. All right, cool.
See, you are very good at that. I am not. I will like let that eat me from the inside out and really hang on to that all day. So for
But I
me, I know I can't.
I think that that is a very it's an important point to bring up because It's being able to not let your emotions control you, right?
Mhm.
It's okay, well, this just is what it is. And the biggest the biggest piece of advice I have when it comes to mindset and body image is, especially for us, knowing that every single day is purposeful. It's all part of the grand scheme. It's like, okay, I'm in a health phase right now. We're not paying attention to body comp. But when the time comes that we are finally in a good spot, I'm healthy, everything's fixed and moving right where it needs to be, all of every single day now that I'm living leading up to that is purposeful and setting me up to be in that position to, okay, when he says, all right, we're ready, like pull the trigger on prep, it's because I had to go through all of these days to get there, knowing that every single day, every single hour of everything that we are doing, gut protocol, health phases, building phases, growth phases where we feel like a fucking linebacker, it's all purposeful, No, because this is what we are choosing to do. We want to compete. We get to compete. We don't have to, if we don't want to, don't, right?
Yeah.
But knowing that every single day, every move that we make, that we live through leading up to it, it's purposeful. So, yeah, if I have an off day where I'm feeling huge, you know what? It is what it is. Throw on a baggy shirt and some sweats, get through the day, move on to the next, because it's all it's brick by brick by brick.
I love that so much. And while you were saying that, it kind of reminded me of something that I will do is just like putting a little sticky note on my mirror, and just reminding myself of what this phase is doing. I did it a lot in prep, but you've kind of inspired me that I need to do that now in this phase to just remember, because every single day is purposeful and
Yeah.
there's something that we're aiming for every single day in every single phase.
hmm Yeah. And we're choosing to do this. Like
Yeah.
if we wanted to be lean year round, go do it then.
Yeah. Oh, don't. Please don't. Um, I'm just like, as I'm like trying to get my cycle back and my hormones are all out of whack, I'm like,
Right.
please don't.
Me
But
too, though. Like, same.
yeah. Oh, gosh, we could go into a whole episode on that one, but we won't. Um, one other thing that I want to throw out there is really focusing in, and this is piggybacking off of what you were saying is every day is purposeful. Really focus on what your goal is for this season right now. Is it you are trying to beat your logbook in the gym? Is it you are trying to mitigate your stress and really work on that stress perception and really dive into like therapy, which is something that that's my goal right now is to be able to actually like feel my emotions. Um, and stop body checking and stop putting my worth in the physical whatever core.
Visuals. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that is a really important point to bring up is defining your priorities and your goals, your
Mhm,
current goals. And I feel like this is maybe something that a lot of people are lost with because maybe they're like, well, I just want to, like look fit or whatever, look, I'm going to tone, like whatever, whatever. But defining those goals of, okay, here's your end goal, but what are your steps to get there? And what are the things that you need to accomplish step by step by step, phase by phase, season, whatever you want to, call it.
mhm.
What are those things that you have to tackle to get to that goal? And knowing that, yeah, every single day in those different phases are purposeful and necessary to get to that end goal.
Yeah, yeah, and it really makes it more bite-sized, like, you have this overarching goal, but what can you focus on every single day to really break that down? And
Right.
you can use that for anything.
Anything. Yeah. I mean, break it down into just those micro goals, those boxes to check daily that, okay, here's all these perfect days in a row and look at the progress that they've created.
Yeah, I love that. Um, I guess my other tip is steal your 14-year-old's shirts. That's what I did. Um, I'm trying to think if there's anything else, like, just really, like, stop the body checking if you are struggling with it. Even don't post a gym selfie if you are struggling with it and don't want to, like, you really don't need to. If you want to, cool, like, I'm all for it, I do that.
Or do it.
If
Get
you
past or break past that barrier and be like, well, I feel like shit and I'm uncomfortable today, but here's, accountability, or it's not letting those emotions control you.
I think that that's a good point. Yeah. Like you said, living outside of your emotions and being able to feel them. I learned something in therapy, that our feelings, like we feel our feelings for like 90 seconds, and then we get to choose if we're going to hang on to that or we're going to let it go. So that's kind of cool to think about. Like if you are having an off day, you can hang on to that for the whole day, or you can be like, okay, this is what I'm feeling, and then just let it go.
Yeah. And I've become very good at this.
You have. Honestly, you are so inspiring for me because I am not. I will like, I'm getting better, but I will like,
You are getting better.
thank you.
You are. You are for sure.
But I used to be very emotionally driven and
Yeah.
it doesn't
And
go well.
yeah, I mean, it's just making that recognition of like, okay, is this productive in any way?
Yeah.
Like, where is this getting me with hanging on to this? Because then at that point, it's self-inflicted. You're choosing to hang on to it or go about your fucking day. Like, this is what has happened. You can't change it. It is what it is. Here's where we are. Take a step forward.
Yep. Exactly.
I
Yeah.
wish you could see Toby in my lap right now. He's snuggling so hard.
He's so sweet.
He's the best. Maybe this is why I'm able to like handle my emotions because I just have like a therapy cat.
You have an emotional
Yeah.
support animal. That's how I feel Macy is, but she's so anxious too that we just feed off each other. So we're just like hot messes. Girlfriend is a hot mess.
But
But
yeah,
well, that's
that's my advice.
yeah. Yeah, we definitely I feel like we can do another episode on this, especially as we transition from this health phase that we're both in to then building. And
Mhm.
then prep, we'll be back on this one. But if
Yeah.
you guys have anything else, I had thrown something into our Instagram stories today. So this will be Wednesday. So it was on Saturday. But if you guys have anything that comes up for you as well on this topic, let us know because we can definitely touch on another episode on this.
Yeah, I mean, this is it's such a common a common thing, not only in bodybuilding, but especially for women,
Yeah.
men too. We've talked about this plenty of times, body dysmorphia. It happens, especially in our industry. But just making that recognition of it's all purposeful to get to where we need to be physically.
Yeah. I will give one more exercise. I've given this to a couple of my lifestyle clients, and I actually had to do it a couple weeks ago too. Is just writing down everything that you appreciate about your body and that your body can do for you in this phase. And once you start realizing that, you kind of don't care that you feel like a linebacker today because you're like, oh, like
Yeah, the goods outweighing the the emotional negative.
exactly.
Give your body credit for what it does for you. We put our bodies through hell.
Exactly. Yeah, especially like I always bring up because I have a lot of clients that are moms, like your body actually grew a human or multiple humans. So like give it some grace there. It doesn't mean that you can't work towards your goals, but give it some grace while you're in that process.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. And I obviously don't know, but I can imagine that that's probably something really difficult for for moms going through like pregnancy too, right? When they're gaining weight and they're like, oh my God, this isn't my body. Yeah, but guess what? That's purposeful because you're growing a human being. Like it's
Yeah,
necessary.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Just
I
remember,
feel like that would kind of like relate directly to kind of exactly what we're talking about here. You know, if we're in a growth phase, it's necessary to put on body fat.
just remembering what the purpose of that day is every
Right.
single day. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I think that is that. If you guys have anything else to give us, let us know. Any topic suggestions? Otherwise, we will talk to you next week. Chloe says bye. You're not watching the YouTube, go watch the YouTube.
You're missing out if you're not.
You are. All right. We'll talk to you guys next week. Have a
Bye,
good week.
guys.
Bye.